Well, talk about a let down. I was really hoping that these galactic challenges would reinvigorate me a little bit, and a bunch of us in my server, we were thinking and hoping and praying that the rewards that we saw in the preview on the forums was just a rough draft. Um, they're not. The rewards are pretty mediocre. The best thing to drop today was the $100 pack with 5 Zeta salvage that I bought because it's Zetas. And even if stop playing or whatever, I'd like to have a nice cache of things in case I do decide to come back. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm not overly optimistic at this point. But at least you can't just auto shit, even if you have GLs. I wanted to, mess around with a couple of different things. Yes, I know that Sith have the bonus for this round. But yeah, I wanted to mess around and see what worked and what didn't work and see if you could just overpower it like this. Or if it really does take a certain, I don't know if skill is the word, but a certain level of competency, whether that's purchasable competency or playing competency or a combination. So here is a very much purchasable level of competency. And I do like that the dots are really stacking up here. Because it makes it a little bit more difficult. So you see I mess around with a couple of things. Because why not? It's the first time this thing is out. I'm not worried about beating any of the levels. So I just want to see what works and what doesn't work. So if I had gone with a full Jedi crew, although I would obviously not have had Rey in here, but get rid of the dots. It's doable, but I mean, clearly it's not ideal here. So you can't really just muscle through this, as you can see there. So I wanted to see if it was possible. We'll mix it up, we'll change it up and see if that's better. Yeah, I went with Revan lead in the first attempt and with Jolie in there. Maybe this team is a little bit more powerful anyway, so maybe you can muscle through a little bit, but it's still not going to be pretty. I don't think you can really auto 5, 6, or 7. Like I've been saying, they love the number 7. They love 7, which is why I don't think that stars are going to be increased. And it's why I think that it's more likely that mod levels get increased, because we are still at 6 dot. So don't be surprised if 7 dot mods are somewhere on the horizon. This is this is my team in Arena. I don't drop very far. I think the furthest I will drop in a given night is to like 8th. Because it's very annoying, this team. Maybe I could have autoed it, maybe not. Whatever. By the way, you saw that, right? You saw Gas get shot and killed by the sniper, even though Rey had her ultimate, right? Everyone saw that? Okay, just make note of that. So that was tier 5. So I'm going to start, and I'm going to jump ahead to 7, because I wanted to try 5 to see how difficult it's going to be. So now I'm actually going to try some Dark Side, the Sith, see if we can take advantage of that bonus that they get. Let's see if this team does better than a Rey full Jedi team. That's a shitty open. Okay. So, I mean, bring Darth Revan making a little bit of a comeback under the current bonus for the week. So that looks easier. That's tremendously easier. which is fine, which is good, because that means that people without the GLs will have a shot at these, which is a good thing in case anyone is wondering. But yeah, overall, I am not impressed, at least not with this round. I mean, we don't need 15 minutes to do this. If you can't do it in 5, you can't do it, right? It's not like it's TB where you can take as long as you want. I mean, even TB, if you can't finish one battle in 15 minutes, you're not finishing it. So yeah, not overly ecstatic, not ecstatic at all. I mean, sure, it's nice to have something, I guess, new to do, but I'm not all that impressed, honestly. Yeah, not thrilled. So I want to see if I can get that 3rd star. I don't think I will, but I have a week to do it. Yeah, so I'm not thrilled. It is nice, like, again, like I said, that it's not only appealing to the tip of the spear, as it were. I do like that if you have, again, I have Supreme Leader Kylo Ren in here, but I don't think it really adds as much as it would otherwise, because Sith have this very, very nice bonus for this particular event. I almost think it serves as a detriment, because you're not really capitalizing on Darth Revan's lead by having Supreme Leader Kylo Ren in here. But whatever, it is what it is. So I do like that there are a couple of feats where, try to undersize it or go in, or rather not lose a tune. So that's not new, but it's interesting. If only the rewards were a little bit more impressive than they are. I'm going with Rex here because I want to see, although it's going to cleanse the ferocity, I want to see if it works. No, you're still getting dots. That's interesting. You still get dots even with tenacity up. Okay, so if you're watching, don't do that because you're going to waste your time. Rona. It did work. Man, Rosie, you are really destroying that fucking toy. We did get a new dog, Roxy. She's really cute. By the way, watch this. So, ultimate, and Poggle doesn't die. So, that gives you an idea of the difficulty here. We did get a second dog. Her name is Roxy. So, Rosie and Roxy. I like alliteration. Rosie really preferred being an only child. So I'm not sure if it's stress-induced or because Roxy is from Ohio and there's different bacteria in there. But Rosie got the shits. So Roxy is actually 2 buildings over at my mom's apartment for a little while until Rosie's GI system normalizes, which it still hasn't, because, Rose, you haven't pooped since Monday. So, that's a little bit concerning. I fed her broccoli tonight because that shit, pun, that goes right through her. So if she doesn't poop tonight or tomorrow, well, actually, but you're very cute. Yes, I know. I may very well wake up to a turd on the floor because broccoli just really, really goes right through her. Right, Rose? But you love broccoli. Just like your mama. You can't have broccoli because it goes right through you. So still a work in progress in terms of the new dog, Roxy. She's very, very cute. She is also a Cavapoo, but she is a different coloration. She kind of looks like a granite dog, insofar as she has like shades of brown, a little bit of gray, black, and she's really cute. Rosie's still my number 1, even though she's being a little bitch right now. But, yeah. All right, so as I'm just doing testing out this other stuff to see what works and does what doesn't work, that clearly doesn't work. Cyan died right at the open. Uh, Russia claims to have a coronavirus vaccine. Everyone's really skeptical. But what you didn't read right away is that they were actually using or working on a vaccine for MERS, which is Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, which is very, very closely related to coronavirus. Um, and if you've never heard of MERS, that's because we don't really have to worry about MERS here because, as should be self evident in its name, it is primarily and predominantly a Middle Eastern disease. Again, very closely related to coronavirus, but it is, well, it's certainly not exactly the same as this coronavirus that we're all dealing with right now. But listen, I said this in some of my personal conversations, and I said this in my server. Right now, it's our generation's space race between the United States and Russia. But frankly, I don't give a fuck who gets a working, safe vaccine first. Doesn't matter because everyone is going to benefit. Maybe not right away, maybe not directly, but certainly, the fewer people that are going to get sick and die, the easier it'll be for economies to reopen, jobs to come back, people to have a steady paycheck again, feel more safe. So, regardless of who gets a working, safe vaccine first, more important that someone gets it than who gets it first. So, you're not going to hear me naysaying this potential Russian vaccine. Do I buy into it as of this moment? No, not necessarily, but I certainly would love to be proven wrong, because if they have it now, it's August. That's a hell of a lot faster than anyone really could have hoped for, even if tensions between Russia and the United States are somewhat elevated. I think that it'll certainly be a benefit to humankind if Russia's vaccine does, in fact, work. So, again, don't care who gets it first. More important that we get it. Yeah, that's really it from that sort of or side of things. The stock market has been fucking all over the place, mostly towards the upside, over the last couple weeks, certainly since my last video. Yeah, if you haven't bought into the market already and you feel like you missed the boat, I wish I could tell you yes or no. I honestly don't know. If a vaccine comes out, I think that the market will probably fly most sectors, not all. Like for instance, off of the Russian vaccine news, most, if not all, U.S. Pharmaceuticals and/or biotechs took a nosedive. Um, so, not everything is necessarily going to. I know I say a rising tide lifts all boats, and generally, yes, that is true. But some of these pharmaceutical and biotech names are so overbought on speculation and hope that they will be the first to discover or really get FDA approval for a vaccine. That also, this Russian vaccine news kind of came seemingly out of nowhere because I certainly didn't know that Russia was working on a MERS vaccine. Even if I had known that, I wouldn't. I'm not a doctor or anything like that, so I would not have assumed or even thought, quite frankly, that a MERS vaccine could also be compatible in fighting coronavirus. So that news definitely took the wind out of a lot of U.S. biotech and pharma's sales. But again, going back to more important than we get it, than who gets it. And even still, on that day, the market was up for most of the day until Congress ruined everything as they often do in not being able to sort out this next round of stimulus. Yeah, the president came out with a bunch of executive orders, but pretty much every dollar is going to have to be approved by Congress. So it's really moot until and unless Congress can get their heads out of their asses and come up with something that everybody can at least, maybe not agree on, but at least compromise on. So, if you're one of those people that is listening to or watching this, you should contact, write, email, phone your congressperson and explain that, this delay in the next coronavirus bill is problematic. Anyway, stay safe and stay healthy, and I'll see you guys relatively soon.